All right, I can't remember if you had this remote last time or you had the round like hockey puck one. But I like this. This is a newer remote style, and I like this one better for the 2-dog unit. So this is what I have for you. Get that off my phone there. All right, so the H is Huxley. So the top black and on the side and the top black on the front of it are both his. The black one on the side is going to do the stem at whatever level your dial is set at. This right here is the wheel that basically if you're pushing your thumb up, it's turning the level up. If you're bringing your thumb down, it's turning the level down. I use these side buttons right now. These front buttons I have programmed to do a Pavlovian tone, and they're not really used to that yet, so I'm going to work on that as the days go by with them. But with the Pavlovian tone, it's pretty cool because you can push it. It's going to do a tone for 3 seconds with no stem. If they respond to the command within that 3 seconds, I'm going to let my button off, because remember, as I'm saying the command to them, I'm pushing the button. When they comply, the pressure or the button gets turned off. So with this Pavlovian tone, it's kind of cool because, like I said, if I press it, it's going to do tone for 3 seconds. If the dog responds in that 3 seconds or before that 3 seconds is up, I'm going to take my finger off of the button because they responded, and it's never going to go to stem. Now, if they ignore that little beep warning and don't do what I asked, such as calm or sit, I'm going to still hold that button down because they didn't comply. So once that 3 seconds is up and that tone stops, it's going to go directly into stem at whatever level you have the dial set at. So that's kind of nice. They don't know that yet. So if you do anything tonight with either of them, and I would suggest probably not do Hendrix unless you have a leash to help him, because he's still a little bit squealy at times, where you can push the button at the same level like 5, 7, 8 times, you know, different commands, and then all of a sudden he like squeaks. So if you're nervous about that or you're worried, you can't really hurt him at this point, but if you're worried about that, just practice with Huxley. And again, he's the black, and Hendrix I have as a R, because you guys were calling him Rix. So I put H for Huxley, R for Rix. He's the red button. Same thing. Red on the side is the stem. Red on the front is the Pavlovian tone. And again, neither one of them really know that too much yet. I've been just using the stem. So I'm using the stem, pressing the button. Same time I ask the command, they comply. I take my finger off the button. All right. Your rheostat here. On the other side where there's 2 black buttons, the on-off button is the bottom one. Again, you're gonna press and hold that until your blue backlight goes off. So that blue light's off, it went off. To turn it on, press and hold until I get my blue backlight on. So that's how you turn it on and off. I don't know if you remember from, let me take your collar off you for a minute there, Hux. From before, to turn the collar part on and off, because you turn the collar part and the remote part on and off separate. On the back of your remote is the little red dot that's a magnet. On the front of your collar is the little red dot that is the magnet. So if I touch them together, red is off. Touch it again, green is on. And it's going to flash green every few seconds here, letting you know your battery is good. So make sure before you put the collar on the dogs that you turn your remote on. You should see that blinking. And if you press a button, you're going to see red on there. All right. Huxley has a quick snap buckle on his, really nice. So it's already fitted on this side, so you don't have to do anything with that. You just put it on high up above the ears, as high as you can get it on the back of his neck, and it's just a nice quick snap. So easy on and off. You don't have to worry about making sure it's tight enough in the right hole. It's got a nice bungee, so as his neck expands, if he's running and really panting a lot and his neck expands, it's got some give to it. He's got the comfort pads on his because he's got very short hair. They're brass. They also are going to reduce the stim level number. So even though it says, like, say for example 20, it's going to take probably 20% off of that number, so it's actually going to be lower than that number. So if his numbers are a little bit high, it's not necessarily that he's being stubborn or anything, it's just that the brass doesn't conduct electricity as well as the nickel ones that come with it. And I like to swap out for these comfort pads for dogs that have super short hair like his. So yeah, everything's waterproof. They can swim in them. My dogs were out there just a few minutes ago swimming in their collars. So Huxley's, oops, come here, buddy. Or Hendrix, his neck is too short, and I don't have any of these quick release in the size for him that will fit him appropriately, but he's still got a bungee. But his is the type where you're gonna have to put it in the hole there. I'm gonna put a mark on the hole that it should be in. It's gonna be fairly snug. Again, it's got to have good contact with the skin. This little V thing here, it's actually a stim reducer, and it makes, even though the stim is kind of blunt, it makes it reduced even more, about 30 to 50%, which I just put this on today and it seems to work a lot better for him. Also, it makes him and Huxley kind of at the same level, so that's nice that you won't have to do turning up or down when you're going from one dog to another. It makes their levels pretty equal, which is kind of nice. Now, if you do use it tonight, like I said, I recommend using just on Huxley, unless you have the leash on Hendrix to help him. If he acts confused or gets scared, you can use a leash to help him. Feels like you're eating my pocket. I know you're licking your toes. If you, just because I'm hitting one, so I'm going to show you here, I'm going to have the lights on, facing the camera here. So if I hit Huxley's button, oops, I think I turned it off. So if I hit Huxley's button, it's only going to do his collar. If I do Hendrix, it's only going to do his collar. So you can't, if I push the buttons at the exact same time, it cancels them out. So even though I'm pushing them at the same time, it's only doing one collar. If by chance you needed to call both dogs at the same time, you want to do a quick 1-2. So I hold this in my right hand. I use my pointer finger on Huxley's, my middle finger on Hendrix. So I could do a quick 1-2 with them if I needed to do that. I'll explain more in your lesson with you on Sunday. I also left a paper that has written instructions on this. But if you want to start using it with Huxley a little bit tonight with the place, or even taking him out in the backyard, that's totally fine. I usually start him, because in the backyard there's smells and everything, I would turn it up at least to 30-35 to start. You may go down or you may have to turn it up. I want him responding when you say, Huxley, come, and as soon as he turns to commit to come to you, you're going to let your finger off the button. So if you look at his black collar here, if I say, Huxley, come, and all of a sudden he turns around and he starts coming to me, I'm going to let my finger off, and I'm going to verbally, yay, go boy, praise him till he gets up to me. And then I'm going to have him sit. So I'm going to tap the button, have him sit, reward him, and then break, he can go off again. So no button on break. Everything else, button until they comply, button off when they have done the behavior that you're asking for. All right, if you don't feel confident tonight in doing any of this, that's totally fine. I just didn't want you to feel obligated that you have to do it. But if you want to start playing around a little bit, since you have done it with Huxley before, you definitely can do that with him. If you have any problems or questions tonight, definitely you know how to get a hold of me, so go ahead and get a hold of me. And otherwise, I will see them tomorrow. Thank you so much.